Ever since I was diagnosed with a genetic vision disorder called Stargardt's disease back in 2011, I seriously doubted that I would have any future love interests. Sure, there may be some that may want a brief intimate encounter, but I seriously did not see myself meeting anyone of value in the future. In my town, I never received any interest from anyone desirable. Mostly older Caucasian men and black undesirables, such as inmates who are doing cheap labor at the animal shelter. It was the year of 2017. I had given up driving sometime back in 2014. My vision was just too bad for me to continue. Now most of my days were spent at home waiting on the Grim Reaper to come get me. When I did get out of the house, it was to go to Walmart with my mom. Sometimes I got to visit my sister, who lived about 15 minutes away. I longed to do something interesting. Go somewhere interesting. I hated waking up and doing the same thing every day and every week. I desperately wanted a life for myself. A life where I am the star of my own life and get to have a great time. Watching other people on TV have a great time annoyed me sometimes. When is it going to be my turn to get off the bench and get into the game? As a kid with normal vision, I spent so much time TV watching. I didn't really have any real friends that invited me out to do anything fun. Of course, I went to the obligatory cousin birthday parties, but there was nobody to have a consistent relationship with. Me having extreme social anxiety for most of my life made it difficult for me to develop and maintain real connections. So I usually pass my time watching TV, reading books, and doing random arts and crafts. If I had known that I was going to lose my vision so early, I would have made time to enjoy other activities such as roller skating and line dancing. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. Back to 2017, I was trying to decide whether to buy a white onion or some shallots. I still could turn my head in a certain way and manage to read some text. As long as the text was big enough and had a sharp contrast from its background, I usually could read it. Do those taste any different? They sure are pricey for some small onions. A male voice asked from behind me. I turned to my right, startled. A dark-skinned man wearing a gray shirt and dark blue jeans stood there with a big smile on his face. They are all right. It depends what you're going to use them in. I stated. I like simple food. The man said. I don't got time for 30 different ingredient meals. I thought about Indian food and laughed because so many of their dishes contain so many ingredients and spices. What you laughing at? The man asked. I was just thinking about Indian food. I tried to cook Indian food before, but got frustrated with all the things it requires to make one meal. I kind of like Indian food. The man said, I love gyros. Do you like Indian food? The man asked with a hopeful look on his face. I've only been to one Indian restaurant and two Mediterranean restaurants. I answered, I like naan bread and some of their lentil dishes. I am vegetarian. Oh, for real? The man asked in a happy-go-lucky voice. I was vegetarian for 6 months. Then the holidays came up and I fell off and never went back. I just couldn't resist that turkey and dressing. The man held his hand out for me to shake. My name is Tyler Long, and what's your name? He asked. I shook the man's hand reluctantly. I was glad I had remembered to put my Germ X in my purse this time. I don't really like shaking people's hands, since I know a lot of people pick their nose and don't wash their hands after using the bathroom. There was a likable energy to Tyler Long. He seemed happy-go-lucky and likable. Oh. My name is Terry, I told him. Well, I would like to get to know you better if you don't mind, the man continued. We can go out to restaurants that have options for you. I am pretty open-minded. Although I really wanted to find a man that was vegetarian or open to become one, I thought I would go ahead and give Tyler Long a chance. I couldn't believe my luck. Things were finally looking up for me. I now had what I always wanted, an adventure partner. I had always wanted someone to get me out of the freaking house and go explore and have a good time with. Tyler seemed to be a man of his word. He showed up promptly to our dates and if he had to cancel, which was very rare, he called and gave a reasonable explanation for his cancellation. He seemed to really enjoy spending time with me. One day, he took me shopping at the beauty supply store. I didn't really want much besides a few scented body butters, but Tyler was in an impulsive mood and wanted to buy me all kinds of random stuff that I didn't want, such as perfumes and jewelry. He said that a pretty lady should have nice things. He gets annoyed when I say, I don't need that. So I did not argue with him. It seemed to make him happy to spend money on me. After our shopping extravaganza, he took me to my afternoon class. I was taking a business development course at the local college. I went inside and sat down at a table that faced the outside window. You can see in from both sides. I was feeling good from today's activities. I noticed that Tyler was standing on the other side of the window looking at me. I thought he just was watching me get settled and he would go on to his truck and go on to work. Tyler worked at the local military base. He stared at me with a worried look on his face. What is wrong? I wondered. A classmate of mine noticed Tyler staring and got up and went out to talk to him. A few minutes later, the classmate came back in and told me that Tyler needed some gas money to get to work. I was flabbergasted. Why did this man just take me on a shopping spree like he was loaded if he knew that he needed money to get to work? I felt embarrassed and slightly humiliated since everyone could see him standing around out there. He stood out there with his mouth slightly open, as if he was in disbelief and wondering if I was going to come out or not. I looked down at the ring that Tyler had bought me. It was an engagement ring. Should I marry this guy? I asked myself. This is just a sample of what is more to come in the future. I looked down at my ring again. I think it only cost $89. What kind of moron spends so much money on frivolous garbage to impress a woman when he knows he needs money to go to work? I think I will give him this ring back and break up with him. I have no desire to be a frequent visitor to title loans. The end. Was I wrong? Was I too harsh? This man demonstrated that he blows money trying to impress women and does not balance his checkbook properly. Thank you, come again.